Are you serious? You actually bought that? Mark laughed, shaking his head as he peered at my phone. I am serious, I replied, grinning. It's perfect. Lila's going to love it. You know she has expensive taste, right? Wow, that's really expensive. I know, I admitted. But come on, it's our wedding. She deserves it. I glanced at the ring box on my desk and felt a surge of excitement. I want everything to be perfect. Mark smirked. You're ridiculous, but I get it. If anyone deserves perfect, it's her. I guess I laughed, though a little nervously. I can't believe she said yes. Sometimes I still can't believe she said yes. Mark leaned back, folding his arms. I swear, you're like a giddy school kid. But hey, if it makes you happy. I couldn't help smiling. Happiness bubbled inside me whenever I thought of Lila. She had that way of making the world brighter. Even when she was teasing me for my lame jokes. By the way, Mark said, when are you telling your sister? She's going to explode when she finds out, I groaned. I know, Anna always thinks she knows better. She'll lecture me for an hour. She'll do that anyway. But secretly, she's happy for you. You think so? I asked, feeling the warmth of anticipation. I know so. Trust me, Anna doesn't show it, but she's proud of you. And she's protective, don't forget that. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Lila. My chest tightened. I opened the message. Can't wait to see you tonight. Dress shopping. I couldn't help typing back immediately. Of course. I'll pick you up at 6. Can't wait to see you. Hey, that's her, Mark said, grinning knowingly. Better run before she makes you wait all night. I chuckled. You're right. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Sure, just don't get lost in wedding planning. And hey, don't forget to enjoy being happy for once. I hung up and couldn't stop smiling. Lila had that effect on me. Even when she insisted on the priciest dresses or the fanciest decorations, I couldn't bring myself to care. I loved her. That was enough. Later, when I arrived at her apartment, Lila greeted me with her usual energy. You're early, she exclaimed, pulling me inside. Yeah, couldn't wait, I said. She twirled in front of the mirror, a spark in her eyes. Do you like it? She was holding a cream-colored dress that looked almost unreal. It's perfect, I said immediately. Absolutely perfect for you. She smiled, biting her lip. You always say that, but I mean it. I feel amazing in this. I know, I said. You look amazing. I can't wait for our wedding. She stepped closer, taking my hand. Me too. I've been dreaming about it for so long. I swallowed the lump in my throat, trying to steady my emotions. It's going to be everything we imagined. Just then, my phone buzzed again. It was Anna. Have fun with her, but remember, don't let her steal your head entirely. Be careful, I chuckled. She worries too much, I muttered aloud. But deep down, I knew she meant well. Leela laughed at something I said, her eyes sparkling. I felt that familiar flutter in my chest, the one that told me I was exactly where I was meant to be, perfect, happy, and completely in love, even though a small voice in the back of my mind whispered caution. Something about her eyes when she looked at expensive things, I shoved it away. I didn't care, she was mine, and I had no doubts about our future. For the first time in a long while, I felt completely at peace. I came home earlier than expected, hoping to surprise Leela with the flowers I bought. The apartment was quiet. I called softly, setting the bouquet on the counter. From the living room came her laughter. I froze. It was too familiar, too intimate. Ethan. You're insane, she said, giggling. I swallowed hard. My heart stopped. Ethan. I stepped forward, my hand trembling as I turned the corner. And there they were. Lila, sitting on the couch, leaning close to Ethan. He had that smug, knowing smile that always made me want to punch something. What are you doing here? I blurted. My voice cracked. Lila's eyes widened just for a second, then she laughed, a little too loudly. Oh, you're home early. Ethan stood, extending a hand like he hadn't just crossed a line I didn't know existed. Hey man. Didn't expect to see you, expect to see me. You've been my voice, faltered, fury mixing with disbelief. You've been seeing him behind my back. Lila shrugged, leaning back casually. Seeing him? That sounds so dramatic. We're just talking, I echoed. Talking really? Do you think I'm stupid? My chest tightened, every word tasting like fire. Ethan smirked. Hey, we didn't plan to hurt you, but sometimes people grow apart. Grow apart. I laughed bitterly, anger overtaking me. You call sneaking around, lying, betraying me, growing apart? Leela rolled her eyes. Honestly, I think you're overreacting. Ethan understands me. He gets me in ways you never did. I took a step forward. Lila, look at me. I trusted you. I trusted you with everything. And I'm telling you, she said, her voice sharp now, that my life is changing. I want to be with Ethan. I'm sorry, but it's what I want. I staggered back as if struck. My mind couldn't process it. You're leaving me? For him? Are you serious? She laughed, then light, careless, cutting through me like ice. Yes, I'm serious. I love him. And honestly, it's just better this way. I felt something inside me break. Better. Better for who? For you. You're throwing everything away as like it's nothing. Ethan stepped closer, his hand brushing hers. We didn't plan for this to hurt anyone, but she's happier with me. Isn't that enough? Enough? I yelled. Enough? I gave you my everything. I gave you my heart. You gave me your what? You gave me a life I didn't want, Lila snapped. And now, I'm choosing what I do want. Don't make this about you. I sank into a chair, my hands trembling, my vision blurred. I ignored the signs, didn't I? I muttered to myself. I ignored the way you always picked the expensive over the meaningful, the flashy over real, and I loved you anyway. Exactly, she said, smiling, almost mockingly. You loved me blindly. That's the problem. I can't believe this, I whispered. My voice was barely audible, heavy with betrayal. Ethan laughed softly, glancing between us. It's not about disbelief. It's reality. You're a good guy, but you can't give her what she really wants. She was everything to me, I choked out. I planned my life around her. Every hope, every dream. And now? Leela asked, almost teasingly. Now, it's gone. That's life. I felt my chest tighten as tears threatened. I wanted to scream, to beg, to make her see anything but the words stuck in my throat. My mind raced with memories. The way she always eyed luxury items. Her smirks at wealthy men. The subtle dismissals of my choices. I had seen it and ignored it, blinded by love. I can't. I finally managed, standing unsteadily. I can't do this, Lila smirked, rising gracefully. Goodbye then. I turned, not trusting myself to look at her anymore. The apartment, our home, felt cold and alien. My hands shook, my stomach churned, and the betrayal burned hotter than anything I'd ever felt. As I walked out, I muttered to myself, bitter and broken. How could I have been so blind? The door closed behind me. Silence. And for the first time in my life, I felt completely alone. I couldn't sleep. Not last night, not the night before. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about Lila and Ethan, imagining her laughter, the way she looked at him. Every memory cut me like glass. My phone buzzed. Mark, I hesitated, then answered. Hey, I said, my voice rough. Hey man, how are you holding up? His tone was careful, like he was tiptoeing around a minefield. Not well, I admitted. I can't stop thinking about them. I figured, he said softly. You okay talking about it? I ran a hand through my hair. I don't even know where to start. I keep replaying it, over and over. The way she smiled at him, like I didn't exist. The way he, who never mind. No, finish it, Mark urged. Let it out. You've got to get it off your chest. I took a shaky breath. She wanted him. She said I gave her everything, but it wasn't enough. I trusted her, Mark. I gave her everything, and she just threw it away. That's awful, man. I can't believe she did that to you. Honestly, if it makes you feel any better, she's not worth it. I laughed bitterly. Not worth it? She was my whole life. My plans, my future, gone in a second. You'll get through this, Mark said firmly. You've got Anna, me, and yourself. That counts for something. I closed my eyes. I keep thinking. Did I miss the signs? Was I too naive? Too trusting? You were human, Mark said. You loved her. That's not your fault. I don't know, I muttered. I remember the little things. How she would always choose fancy restaurants over spending time with me. How she'd comment on rich men casually, like it was normal. I ignored it. I ignored all of it because I loved her. You can't blame yourself for loving someone, Mark said gently. You didn't know. You couldn't have. I keep seeing her with Ethan in my head, I admitted. I know I shouldn't care, but I do. I keep imagining her laughing at something, he said, holding his hand. My voice cracked. Hey, it's okay, he said. It's normal to hurt. You're not weak for feeling this, you just need time. I let out a shaky sigh. I feel so lost. I don't even know who I am without her. You're still you, Mark said. And the real you. Strong, smart, capable. Don't let this betrayal define you. Later, I called Anna. She answered after a few rings. Finally, she said, exasperated. I've been trying to reach you. Are you okay? I don't know, I admitted. I feel numb. I can't sleep. I keep seeing her face everywhere. Anna's voice softened. I can't lie, I'm angry at her. But I'm also worried about you. You can't let this destroy you. Promise me you won't. I'll try, I whispered. It's hard. I keep thinking about all the moments we had. The way she looked at me when she said she loved me. It all feels like a lie. It wasn't your fault, she said firmly. And you know what? You'll come out stronger. You have to believe that. I closed my eyes, remembering happier times. The first time she held my hand. The way she laughed when I told stupid jokes. The quiet nights we spent dreaming about our future. All of it, twisted now by betrayal. I just want to forget, I muttered. But I can't. You don't have to forget, Anna said. You just have to keep moving. Live for yourself now. Not for her. I nodded silently, knowing she was right. Somehow, despite the pain, I needed to survive this. I needed to remember myself. I hung up and stared out the window. The city lights were distant and cold, but they reminded me that life continued. With or without Lila, I clenched my fists, promising myself quietly. I won't let this define me. I'll find my strength again. Somehow, I stared at my reflection in the office window, watching the city lights flicker like distant fireflies. My hands were trembling, but not from fear, this was determination. I picked up my phone and dialed Sophia. Her voice was sharp, confident, but not unkind. Sophia, it's me. Can we meet? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. I assumed you'd call eventually, she said. I have an hour free. Meet me at my office. When I arrived, she was already there, arms crossed, looking every bit the powerhouse I remembered. You look different, she said, studying me. Determined. Good. Sit down. What's this about? I need your advice. I'm ready to get back on track. Career, reputation, everything, I said. I want to prove to myself I can stand on my own. Sophia raised an eyebrow. That's vague. What exactly are we talking about? A partnership, I said. Something big, something. I want to show people I'm not just easy to dismiss. She smiled faintly. Finally, I thought you'd crumble, but here you are, asking for more. I like that. Who's involved? A few investors. I've lined up meetings, but I need guidance. Your experience, your network. Sophia leaned back. All right. Let's see what you've got. We spent the next hour going over my proposals, my plans, my pitch. Every time I spoke, she interrupted with pointed questions, pushing me to think faster. Act smarter. Your numbers look solid, she said at one point. But investors will want to see confidence, not desperation. You need to sell you as much as the plan. I can do that, I said, swallowing hard. I've been distracted. Distracted by what? she asked. Her eyes bore into me. Life, I admitted. Personal stuff. But that's over. I'm focused now, she nodded. Good. Remember, people can smell hesitation a mile away. Commit, or step aside. Investors don't reward pity. I took a deep breath. Then I'll commit. Completely. I won't let past mistakes define me. Better, she said. Now, tell me about these investors. Who are they? I rattled off names, some high profile, some smaller but influential. Sophia's eyes flickered with interest. Okay, she said finally. I can introduce you to a few of my contacts. But you have to promise me you won't waste this chance. I promise, I said, feeling my chest tighten with a mix of fear and excitement. You're serious, she said, leaning forward. I can see it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Not her, not them. You control this? I nodded, trying to keep my voice calm. I'll make it work. I can't. I won't fail this time. Sophia smiled, a rare softness in her expression. Good, you've been hurt, I know that. But now it's time to turn pain into power. Make them regret underestimating you. Make yourself proud. I left her office with renewed energy, my mind buzzing. I could do this. I would do this. Lila wouldn't see me weak forever. She thought she had all the power, but I was about to reclaim mine. The next day, I met with the first investor, a man named Mr. Clark. I opened with my pitch, hands steady, voice confident. You've prepared thoroughly, he said, leaning back. I like it. But why should I invest in you? I smiled. Because I'm not just selling a plan. I'm selling dedication, focus, and the determination to succeed no matter what. He raised an eyebrow. Bold. I like bold. The meeting went better than I expected. I walked out, heart racing. Each handshake, each nod of approval, reminded me that I was capable, that I could rise from this. That night, Sophia called. How did it go? She asked. I think it went well. They seemed impressed, I said, smiling despite exhaustion. Good. That's the first step, she said. Next, we scale. Push harder. Show them what you're really made of. I will, I said, determination hardening in my chest. I'm done being the guy who gets hurt and walks away. It's my turn now, Sophia chuckled. That's the spirit. Don't let anyone, or anything, stop you. As I hung up, I felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. Fear still lingered in the shadows, whispering doubts. But it was drowned out by a louder voice telling me I could do this. I could rebuild. I could take control. And for the first time in a long while, I believed it. The gala hall was buzzing with power and wealth, but I walked through it with a calm I hadn't felt months ago. My suit fit perfectly, my confidence even better. Sophia had been right. Presence mattered just as much as numbers. Look at you, Sophia said, sidling up beside me. I barely recognize the guy I mentored. I'm starting to recognize myself, I said, smiling. It's a little scary, honestly. Good scary. That's the one people remember, she replied. Eyes scanning the room. A group of colleagues approached, their smiles polite but curious. Hey, congratulations, one said, shaking my hand. Your latest deal? Impressive? I didn't expect you to close that so quickly. Thanks, I said. I've been focused. Timing matters more than anything, Sophia whispered. Remember, confidence. They'll follow your lead. I nodded and engaged with the others. Our next project. I think we can scale faster than anyone expects. I've mapped out potential risks and rewards. And wow, a colleague interrupted. You're serious about this? I like that. I'm serious about my career, I said. And about proving what I can do. Nothing else matters right now. Later, I spotted Lila across the room, draped in diamonds, and laughing at something Ethan whispered. My stomach twisted, but I forced myself to stay composed. She looks happy, Sophia murmured. Too happy, I muttered. Or maybe just careless. They think wealth makes them untouchable. Don't forget who you are now, she said. Let them underestimate you. They'll regret it soon enough. I swallowed, remembering the months of late nights, tough negotiations, and endless preparation. I had rebuilt myself, stronger and smarter. Letting them think I'd fallen apart was part of the plan. A business associate approached, introducing himself with a handshake. I've heard a lot about your recent acquisitions. Incredible work. We should discuss a potential collaboration. I'd like that, I said. Let's find a quieter spot and go over the details. Sophia nodded approvingly. See, you're making your own story now, not anyone else's. As I led the conversation, I caught Leela's eye again. She blinked in surprise, quickly turning away. Ethan noticed too, his smirk faltering for a fraction of a second. I smiled inwardly, subtle but effective. Later, over champagne, Sophia leaned close. They didn't recognize you at first. That's the power of transformation. Keep pushing. I will, I said. It feels good. Better than I expected, almost intoxicating. Focus, she warned, her tone sharp now. Don't get carried away by compliments or fancy dresses. I won't, I promised. But it's hard not to enjoy this after everything. I overheard Leela laughing at some trivial comment Ethan made. Honestly, I don't know why anyone bothers trying to compete with us. We have everything, she said. I clenched my jaw. Everything, huh? We'll see about that, I muttered under my breath. Sophia followed my gaze. Careful. Let them reveal their arrogance. It will work in your favor. Don't make the first move. Observe. I nodded, taking a slow sip of champagne. Their overconfidence would be their undoing, and I intended to be patient. A junior associate approached, visibly nervous. Excuse me, sir. Your approach to risk. Your strategy. It's inspiring. Could you advise me sometime? Of course, I said, offering a reassuring smile. Find a way to be bold, even when it's scary. That's the difference between success and mediocrity. Sophia's hand brushed mine lightly. Exactly. You're teaching now, not just surviving. That's growth. I glanced around, noticing the subtle power plays unfolding at every table. I realized how far I'd come from heartbroken and naive to sharp, strategic, and respected. The people here would remember me, and yes, Lila and Ethan would remember too. I can't wait to see their faces when they realize I'm not the same person. I whispered, mostly to myself. Sophia chuckled softly. Patience. Karma has its own timing. You focus on your rise. Everything else will follow. I nodded, feeling a deep satisfaction that had nothing to do with wealth or approval. This was control. This was power. And I would wield it carefully, letting arrogance crumble before strategy. The night continued. Conversations flowing, deals taking shape. And somewhere across the room, Lila's laughter rang hollow to me now. A sound I no longer feared. I had risen from ashes. And nothing, not even betrayal, could stop me from claiming what was mine. I didn't plan to watch them. I told myself that, but when I walked into the charity gala, I couldn't help noticing Lila draped in pearls, laughing a little too loudly at something Ethan said. She's radiant tonight. A woman beside me whispered. Yeah, I murmured, letting my gaze drift. But I think her sparkle's fading. Across the room, Ethan's charm was starting to crack. He snapped at a waiter for bringing the wrong wine. Then muttered under his breath at Lila for not laughing loud enough at his joke. I can't believe he just said that, Lila whispered, forcing a smile. Don't worry, someone else said, glancing at Ethan. He's intense sometimes. I sipped my champagne, hiding my smirk. The cracks were subtle, but they were there. The arrogance, the sense of untouchable wealth was unraveling. Later, I overheard a conversation at a nearby table. Did you hear? A woman said, giggling. Ethan's company is in trouble. Bad investments. People are whispering. No way, another replied. And Lila. She's barely handling the gossip. Heard she threw a fit at last week's dinner party. I let the words settle in my chest, a quiet satisfaction stirring. Karma wasn't immediate, but it was arriving. Slowly, methodically. I couldn't resist leaning a little closer. Sounds like the fairy tale isn't so perfect, I murmured to myself. Exactly, Sophia said, coming up beside me. Patience. This is how arrogance bends. You don't touch it. It falls on its own. I nodded, but the temptation to intervene nagged at me. Part of me wanted to expose every detail of their misdeeds, make the world see what I saw. But I stayed silent. Letting it unfold naturally felt more satisfying later. Ethan argued with a friend about a failed investment. His voice was sharp, frustrated. You don't understand the market, he snapped. I understand enough to see your mistakes, the friend shot back. You can't cover it up forever. Lila tried to interject, smoothing things over. Ethan, maybe we should discuss this privately. No, not now. Everyone should know how capable I am, he barked. I hid a chuckle behind my hand. There it was. The mask was cracking. The arrogance, the ego, they couldn't sustain it. A few minutes later, Lila's smile faltered as another guest whispered something to her. She nodded quickly, but her eyes betrayed worry. You see that? I asked Sophia softly. She's not as untouchable as she thinks. She never was, Sophia replied. But watching them crumble makes the lesson sweeter, doesn't it? I felt a twinge of guilt. Part of me wanted to help or at least confront them, but I knew that interfering would cheapen the moment. Let them face the consequences themselves. Let them feel the sting of their own choices. Across the room, Ethan's voice rose again. Anger laced through every word. Lila tried to placate him, but it was clear she was losing control. Guests exchanged awkward glances, whispering among themselves. The image they had carefully curated for months was slipping. I took a deep breath, allowing the satisfaction to wash over me. Not triumph born of revenge, but the quiet vindication of truth. They had built their world on arrogance, charm, and wealth, thinking it would protect them. And now, cracks were appearing. Sophia nudged me. Remember, patience. Let them fall as they will. The more they fight, the deeper the lesson. I nodded, taking a final sip of my drink. The night wasn't over, but already, I felt the momentum shifting. I had survived, I had grown, and now, I watched as life began to repay what had been owed. And I didn't need to lift a finger. Not yet, because karma slow, inevitable, and perfect was finally biting. I met Alina at a business luncheon. She wasn't flashy, didn't wear diamonds or designer dresses. She had a quiet confidence that immediately caught my attention. You're Mark's friend, right? She asked, smiling. I've heard a lot about your recent deals. I hope all of it good, I said, holding back a grin. Mostly, she laughed. But you seem different, focused.com. I've been through some things, I said, shrugging. You learn fast when life knocks you down. She tilted her head, curious. Want to tell me about it? I hesitated. Not about Leela, not yet. Maybe later, I said. Right now, I want to hear your thoughts on this project. I could use a smart ally. We spent hours discussing business strategies, investments, and networking. Her ideas were sharp, creative, and completely devoid of pretension. I felt my chest lighten in ways I hadn't expected. You know, she said after a pause, I think you're underestimating yourself. People will follow your lead, but only if you show them who you are now. I'm learning, I said. It's harder than it seems. Alina, if you're saying I can handle it, I appreciate it. Honestly, it's nice to have someone who doesn't sugarcoat things. Good, she said, her eyes twinkling. I don't do I prefer truth. Her honesty was refreshing. I found myself thinking about her when I left, about laughing with her, talking freely, without the constant tension of what Leela or Ethan might think. Later that week, as Sophia reviewed my calendar, I brought up an idea. I want to finalize my wedding date. Sophia raised an eyebrow. Already? You're serious about moving forward? I am, and I want it public enough that Leela sees. She smirked. I was wondering when that plan would surface. Careful, this isn't about spieteats, about showing strength, not cruelty. I know, I said, but it feels right. She should know that her choices don't define me. We agreed on a date, a beautiful venue, a clear announcement to our social circles, And the right level of visibility. I could see it now, Leela learning I had moved on, thriving, and most importantly happy. Do you think I'm doing the wrong thing? I asked Sophia quietly. Depends on your intention, she said. If this is to humiliate her, think twice. If this is to demonstrate your strength, your independence, then yes, it's appropriate. I nodded, absorbing the advice. Inside, a small spark of satisfaction ignited. Not revenge in the cruel sense, but vindication. Karma in motion, with elegance. Later, I met Alina again, this time for dinner. You've been busy, she said. But I can tell something's changed. You're happier. I am, I admitted. Focused, productive, and I've realized life doesn't end when someone betrays you. You rebuild. You grow. I like that, she said softly. It suits you and I. Enjoy seeing this side of you. Confident, unshakable. Her gaze lingered, and I felt a warmth spread through me. I enjoy being around you, to Alina. Understand without judgment. That's rare. You're not the same person anymore, she said. You've learned from the past, but you're not trapped by it. That's admirable. I smiled, feeling a rush of gratitude. And I want to keep building this life. For me, and, well, maybe for someone who actually matters. Her smile widened, and the air between us seemed to shift. Something unspoken, electric, charged with possibility. I felt lighter than I had in months. After dinner, we walked in the cool evening air. I mentioned my upcoming wedding plans casually. I want it to be meaningful. Something I'll remember. Something visible. You mean visible to the right people? She teased lightly. Exactly, I said, laughing. Timing, presentation, everything. It's not about showing off, but letting life speak for itself. Alina chuckled. I like that. Elegance and strategy. You've really transformed. I have, I said, thinking of Leela, Ethan, and the months of growth. And this time, I'm in control. We paused, watching the city lights flicker. I realized something then. Revenge wasn't about bitterness anymore. It was about reclaiming my life, showing my strength, and embracing happiness. Lila and Ethan's choices were their own burden. I didn't need to carry them. You know, Alina said softly, you're going to make someone very happy someday. Maybe yourself first. I smiled, feeling anticipation and a strange calm at once. I plan to, I said. And as I walked away that night, the thought settled in my chest. Leela would see. She would see me thriving, happy, loved. Karma wasn't a person, it was life itself. And it was finally coming full circle. The morning sunlight spilled over the mansion gardens. And I felt a calm I hadn't known in months. Today was my wedding day. The flowers were arranged perfectly, the music flowed like a gentle river, and my suit fit like armor. Alina stood beside me, radiant and supportive, and I realized just how far I'd come. Are you nervous? She asked, adjusting my cufflinks. Excited, I said. This isn't about nerves. It's about finally owning my life. She smiled, her hand brushing mine. And you've earned this. Trust me. Mark appeared, giving me a mock salute. Suit looks good, boss. Ready to show the world you survived and thrived. I am, I said, laughing softly. And they're about to see it, whether they like it or not. Anna stepped up beside me, her expression protective but proud. Just remember to enjoy it. Don't let anyone ruin this day. I won't, I promised. Guests began arriving, whispers of excitement filling the air. Everything was perfect, controlled, elegant. And then I saw her. Leela, she appeared at the edge of the garden, her usual confidence gone. She wore a stunning dress, but it didn't hide the shock and desperation in her eyes. Ethan followed behind her, looking tense and uncharacteristically unsure. I said, my voice calm, "What are you doing here?" "I had to see you," she stammered. "Please, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I want to come back. I can't live without you." I studied her, heart steady despite the storm of memories. "Is that so?" I asked, letting a small, controlled smile play across my face. "Yes," she cried. Everything I thought I wanted with him. It's nothing. I was foolish. Please, I'll do anything. Ethan shifted uncomfortably, muttering something under his breath. Leela ignored him completely, focused solely on me. I can't believe you, I said, taking a step closer. All those months, all the lies, the laughter while betraying me. And now you think I'd just take you back? She tried, but words failed her. I gestured toward Alina, radiant and calm beside me. Do you see her? She's honest, loyal, real. Unlike you, you chose greed and arrogance. You left me. And now? I paused, letting the weight of my words sink in. You get to see the consequences of that choice. Tears streamed down Lila's face. Please, I've changed. I swear, I've changed. I don't doubt you've changed, I said. But timing matters. I've moved on. I've grown and you chose someone else over me. That choice was yours. Don't expect me to undo it for you, her voice cracked. But I love you. I never stopped. I shook my head slowly. Love isn't just words, Lila. It's respect. It's loyalty. It's being there when it matters most. You failed. Completely. Ethan stepped forward, anger and frustration flaring. You don't get it. She made a mistake. Quiet, I said, my voice cold and steady. This isn't about you. Your presence only confirms her poor choices. Leela looked at him, her confidence shattering. Ethan, he shrugged, glancing around nervously at the gathering guests. The arrogance, the charm, it was gone. Their illusion of perfection crumbling under the reality of their actions. I took a slow breath, turning my attention back to Alina. Shall we? I asked, offering my arm. She smiled, slipping her hand into mine. We shall. Lila's face drained of color as I led Alina forward. Guests whispered, some catching Leela's gaze, the shock evident. She tried to speak, tried to reach me, but I didn't look back. Not once. Please. I can fix this. I can, Lila begged. You don't get to fix what you broke, I said softly, letting the words land. Actions have consequences. Alina squeezed my hand, grounding me. You're doing the right thing, she whispered. Mark leaned over and muttered, Oh, this is going to sting. Big time. Anna nodded, her eyes hard but proud. You earned every moment of this. The ceremony proceeded flawlessly, the music swelling, the vows sincere and heartfelt. As I recited them, I could feel the satisfaction deep within me, not from revenge, but from integrity and strength. Lila and Ethan stood at the edge, silent, exposed, and powerless. After the ceremony, as guests cheered, Lila's voice broke through the crowd. Wait, please. Don't do this without me. I smiled faintly, keeping my composure. This life, this happiness, it's not for you. It's mine. Ethan muttered something, defeated, and Lila's hands dropped to her sides. Their exit was quiet, their humiliation complete but natural. No confrontation. No spectacles. Just the perfect justice of their choices reflected back at them. I watched them leave. A strange mix of relief and triumph filling me. Alina leaned close, her voice soft. You did it? You kept your dignity, your strength. I did, I said, feeling the weight of the past lift. And now, nothing, not betrayal, not arrogance, not anything can touch this life we're building. As the sun set over the gardens, laughter and celebration surrounding us, I realized the truth. Victory wasn't about punishing them. It was about reclaiming myself, and today, I had done exactly that, the morning after the wedding. The mansion was quiet except for the soft hum of the air conditioning and distant birds. I sat on the balcony, coffee in hand, feeling the warmth of sunlight on my face. It was peaceful, so different from the chaos of the past months. Alina, I called. And she appeared at the doorway, carrying 2 mugs. Thought you might want some company? Always, she said, smiling, handing me a mug. You look different, lighter. I feel different, I admitted. It's like I've been carrying this weight for years, and now it's finally gone. She sat beside me. It suits you. Seeing you happy. It's inspiring. I almost can't believe I made it here, I said, swirling my coffee. After everything Leela and Ethan did, I thought I'd never recover. You recovered, she said simply. And you didn't just recover, you thrived. I chuckled. Thrived, huh? I like that. It feels good to say it out loud. Just then, Mark popped his head around the corner. Morning, boss. Mind if I join? I brought donuts. Of course, I said, laughing. Have a seat. He plopped down, unwrapping a chocolate donut. You know, watching yesterday. It was beautiful. You handled everything with class. I don't think Leela or Ethan knew what hit them. I won't lie, I said, taking a bite of my own donut. It felt good. Not revenge for revenge's sake, but seeing them face their choices, knowing I didn't stoop to their level. Mark nodded. Exactly. Karma works in mysterious ways, and you turned it into strength. Anna joined us then, crossing her arms but smiling. I just want to say, I'm proud of you. You've grown, really grown. And you didn't let bitterness define you. Thanks, Anna, I said. Honestly, there were moments I doubted myself. I wondered if I'd be stuck in that hurt forever. You weren't stuck, Elena said, reaching for my hand. You chose to move forward. That's what makes this different. That's why this isn't just a happy ending, it's your victory. I let her words sink in. You know, the strange thing is, I don't hate them anymore. I don't need them to fail for me to feel complete. Watching them face the consequences was enough. Mark laughed. That's maturity, man. And look at are engaged to an amazing woman, thriving in your career. Not a single regret. Maybe one, I said softly, smiling at Elena. That I let myself be so blind for so long. I ignored the warning signs. I let someone else's choices hurt me that deeply. Elena squeezed my hand. We all make mistakes. But the point is, you learned, you grew, and you found someone who truly belongs by your side. Anna leaned back, smiling, but her tone was serious. Remember this feeling. Remember what it took to get here. Don't let anyone or anything ever take this strength away. I won't, I said firmly. I've spent enough time doubting myself. No more. This is mine. Every lesson, every pain, it shaped me. And now, I can finally live freely. There was a quiet moment, each of us absorbing the significance of everything we'd endured and overcome. Can I be honest? Elena asked, tilting her head. Seeing you go through heartbreak, watching you rebuild, it makes me admire you more. And yes, it makes me feel lucky to be with you. I smiled, feeling warmth spread through me. I feel the same way, lucky and grounded. I've been given a second chance to do things right, to be stronger, better, and happier. Mark raised his donut. Here's to second chances. Then, and to karma, doing its thing. I laughed, clinking my mug gently against his. 2 second chances. And to the lessons that made us who we are. Anna nodded. And remember, happiness isn't just about winning over someone else. It's about winning over yourself. I stared at the horizon, the sun glinting off the city skyline. I've won myself back, I said quietly, and that feels better than anything. Elena leaned her head on my shoulder, warm and comforting. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Yes, I whispered, a smile stretching across my face. Exactly where I'm supposed to be. For the first time in months, I felt complete. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the anger, all of it, had brought me here. And in this moment, with friends, love, and clarity, I realized that the journey had been worth every painful step. Because I had survived. I had grown, and I had finally reclaimed my life. I woke to the soft light of morning streaming through the windows. Elena's hand warm in mine. It felt normal, comfortable, right. Morning, I said, stretching and smiling at her. Morning, sleepyhead, she replied, laughing softly. Coffee. Always, I said, sitting up. You know I can't survive without it. Elena shook her head, playful. You survived worse things than missing coffee. Today, you're choosing happiness. I am, I said, taking a deep breath. I never thought I'd get to this point, where everything feels peaceful. And mine. She leaned closer. You've earned it. You took your pain and turned it into strength. I see it every day. I nodded, swirling the coffee in my cup. Sometimes I think about Lila, about everything that happened. The lies, the betrayal. Elena's hand covered mine. And yet, here you are, thriving. Stronger than ever. I know, I admitted. But today, I realized I can look back without anger. I can remember the pain without letting it define me. Even that letter she sent last week. I didn't even open it. I knew it wasn't for me anymore. Mark's voice came from the kitchen. You're ignoring mail now. That's a new level of maturity. Man, I laughed. Some things aren't worth the time. I've got better things to focus on. Like me, Elena teased, raising an eyebrow. Exactly like you, I said, grinning. And life. And work, and everything I almost let slip away. Anna appeared at the doorway, arms crossed but smiling. Breakfast ready. Thought I'd remind you that we're alive, thriving, and not letting the past haunt us. Perfect timing, I said, standing and stretching. Let's eat. Let's celebrate the life we've built, not the mistakes we endured. As we sat down, conversation flowed, Mark joking, Anna teasing, Elena laughing. It was ordinary, yet extraordinary. This simplicity, this warmth, felt like victory. After a moment, Elena said softly, Do you ever regret letting go of the past? Lila, everything. I shook my head. Never. I had to lose that, to gain this. I had to be broken to understand what mattered. Every moment of betrayal. It taught me resilience, patience, and now, I choose joy, love, and honesty. Mark leaned back, raising his mug. Here's to honesty, then, and to choosing the right people for your life. I clinked my mug against his. Exactly. No more toxic shadows. No more regrets. Anna smiled. And no more looking back. You've grown into someone unshakable. Remember that. I felt a quiet pride, a sense of completion. I do, and it feels incredible to wake up each day without bitterness, without anger, to feel hope instead of pain, to trust life and people again. Elena reached for my hand. And we'll keep building this together. Every day, stronger than the last. Yes, I whispered, squeezing her hand. I've learned that happiness isn't a destination, it's a choice. And today, I choose it fully. Every moment, every breath. I glanced out the window at the city below, the sun glinting off the glass buildings, the streets alive with movement. It's amazing how far I've come, I murmured. From heartbreak to strength, from betrayal to clarity. I never thought I'd feel so free. Elena rested her head on my shoulder. You are free. And you're loved, respected, and unstoppable. Mark chuckled. I'll drink to that. Nothing better than watching you own your life. Anna's eyes softened. And now, no past, no shadows. Just you, living fully, and the people who matter. I smiled, letting it all sink in, the laughter, the warmth, the love. The journey had been painful, yes, but every step had shaped me. Every betrayal, every sleepless night, every tear had been part of this growth. And now, I was whole. Here's to new beginnings, I said, raising my mug one last time. 2 new beginnings, they echoed, and I felt it, deep inside, a sense of empowerment, peace, and closure. The past had taught me lessons, but it no longer held me captive. I had reclaimed my life, my happiness, my love, and my future. And for the first time in a long time, I looked forward, not back. With nothing but hope and strength in my heart. This was my life. My choice, my victory.